DLC and season passes have long been the bane of many gamers' existence, especially if you happen to be a fan of online multiplayer games such as Star Wars Battlefront. Now, back when Battlefront initially launched in 2015, gamers thought that the game seemed incomplete for the $60 that the developer was charging for it. However, after a year of putting out DLC after DLC, totaling 4 large map packs at $15 a piece, the game had a decent amount of content. But the problem was that the community was completely fragmented. Some people had bought certain map packs, some people hadn't bought any, some had bought them all. And so you could never rely on gamers and other people being in a certain server or game mode or playing on a certain map, because it was all gated off based on how much money you had put into the game. It was a serious, serious problem. And it looks like the creative director for Star Wars Battlefront 2 has realized this issue and is going to make corrective measures. Now, Bernd Diemer, who is DICE's Battlefront 2 creative director, confirmed it outright at the Star Wars celebration these past few days. He said clearly, quote, "We don't have a season pass," end quote. Now, I know what some people will take this as meaning. They say, oh, wow, DICE, like, they're not going to have any sort of season pass at all? Oh, they're getting rid of DLC. No, that's not what this means. DLC and season passes are different. The season pass is a guarantee that you'll get some sort of discount on the DLC, but the recognition that Diemer actually seems to admit would imply that they're taking a different approach to DLC in general. And I'll quote him directly so that I don't give off any sort of strange vibes. He said, quote, "We decided on that, and it's one of those difficult decisions because it has so many implications all around. When we looked at the way Battlefront had evolved over its lifetime with the DLC and everything, we decided, you know what? For this type of game, season passes are not the best thing. We need to take it apart and come up with something better." And to further elaborate, he said outright, quote, "We don't want to segment our community," end quote. So what does all of this mean? Well, it seems as though DICE recognized the main issue with their pricing model with the original Battlefront. People who were really into the game would buy every map pack that was released, buy every element of DLC, and they were the ones primarily funding the operation. However, most people that bought the original game, played it when it came out, realized there was a lack of content, and moved on to other things. And so you ended up with people, if they wanted to get into the game, get into the experience, they had to dish out much, much more money all at once, something that they weren't willing to do all the time. So it really segmented and broke up the community as a whole. This time around, they seem to be wholeheartedly embracing that fact and trying to correct it with small changes. Again, we don't know exactly what they're going to be replacing with just yet. As he says here, quote, "I cannot talk about the specifics of this, but we have something different in mind that will allow you to play longer, be more invested in the game without having a fragmented community," end quote. So what could that mean? Well, it could mean that they're going to charge each person $5 a month for access to all of the multiplayer. That's possible. Or it could just mean that they're going to go to purely cosmetic DLC. We don't really know. But this is at least, as of right now, a good sign. It's a sign that they're going in the right direction. They're admitting their prior mistakes and they're looking to correct it. Hey, did you like that? Well, that was just an extra of the full show that I do every weekend. So if you haven't seen it already, make sure to check it out. Ad card things popping up everywhere. And subscribe if you haven't already.